Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So we're going to look at this right here. So this is a good little post right here from Nappa Boldy, which is kind of like, this is like, I guess like a running list of characters that kind of like don't have Dokkan Fest exclusives here. It's pretty well done for the most part. The only character I've like looked around that felt like they should be here that isn't is Caulifla. I mean, it may be like, I don't know, Ice and Nova could be split up, I guess. Yeah, but it's like, do we really think like Android 19 or 20 are gonna get a Dokkan Fest? Right? Like, I could see Nova getting a Dokkan Fest. I feel like we could see that. But I just wanted to kind of talk about which characters here, I think are realistic options to get Dokkan, and not all like, just I have a bunch we could talk about, and then we'll kind of see if we want to keep talking about it, right? So let's just jump in, dude. I love Lucifer from the second Dragon Ball movie. No one watching this has any idea who this character is or this guy. Do you guys know? Oh, I won't say who this is. Do you guys know who this is? Right? This guy, what's funny is, like, you would think that this guy is like, oh, the big boss. This is the guy from it's the king from the first Dragon Ball movie, but he's not even really like the villain. Whatever. Anyway. All right, let's jump in. So we start with Caulifla. Now this was a hot take video where I was like going through, like, occasionally I'll do like some of these videos, hot take videos, and I'll just start going through like random shit. Like, I let it be like very free flowing. I think it makes like some of those videos a little bit more enjoyable for sure. And I pointed this out right here. We'll bring this up eventually. All right, guys. So we have. I think I am gonna make this like its own separate video again. But what we have right here. So this is a video I made August 21, 2018. So this is the Goku and Frieza worldwide download celebration. Global Dokkan. This happened twice on Global Dokkan. Global is able to vote for the next LR. It ended up being Vegito Blue one. And Global is able to vote for the next Dokkan Fest. And the three options were Hit, Caulifla, and Kale. Hit obviously won, got a Dokkan Fest for Christmas. I think Hit came out on Christmas Eve, actually. Very stupid, by the way, just because it's like, oh yeah, Global gets this Global first Dokkan Fest Hit and stuff like that. And he was completely fucking overshadowed because Blue Gogeta and Broly, their like details and animations and stuff came out on Christmas. Like, dude, it's just insanity, right? Like, damn, this could be another video. Me talking about the fact that I thought for years the sync would be good. And I thought that the community would be happier with the sync. I thought with Global not being, perpetually 4 months behind, it would just be better. That's bullshit. I was just wrong for years. If anything, everyone is whinier, more angry all the time at everything now that Global is caught up, right? Like, every celebration that's ever existed in Dokkan history, people have said there's nothing to do. It's boring. The game is dead. The game is dying. When are they ever going to release content? Like, literally every day forever, they've said that. But it's gotten even worse, right? And it's because now, like, Global and it's the exact same. So, if JP is dead, well, guess what? Global's caught up. Like, they're dead too. Whereas previously, like, Global's got nothing going on. Oh, but JP's got this. JP's got nothing going on. Oh, but Global's got this. Now, it's just like we're in the same spot, right? Whatever. That was, I don't know, the weird tangent. Should I restart this video? Nah, let's keep it going. But anyway, Hit got the Dokkan Fest slot. Kale eventually got her Dokkan Fest. Caulifla's going to get a Dokkan Fest as well. Who knows when? Certainly, most of these characters we're looking at, people, I feel like, might get bitchy about it, but pretty much all these characters, no, they are just straight up all, like, kind of like low hype characters, right? At this point, outside of this guy, who is at least like a big boss character, Demon King Piccolo, like Baby and Demon King Piccolo shouldn't really be on this list. Baby just got his Dokkan Fest finally, right? But these, like, this guy should not be on this list. This guy should have had a Dokkan Fest 7 years ago, right? Like, because he's a big boss villain. Like, there's no reason this guy couldn't have been a June Dokkan Fest in 2018 or 2019 or something like that, right? Like easily. But Khalifa, I mean, Kale was not super popular. They also made Kale a little strange and gave Kale no help, so people didn't care about her. Yeah, Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa. Definitely am looking forward to Khalifa potentially getting a Dokkan Fest at some point. I think it will for sure happen since, we had the three options for the Dokkan Fest selection. Demon King Piccolo. At this point, I would say I talked about Khalifa first just because she's not on here. Demon King Piccolo is probably the number one character that doesn't have a Dokkan Fest that needs one. And let me just quickly make the kind of asterisk here to exclude the newest stuff Daima characters. So, like, I know Demon King Piccolo is a legacy villain and stuff like that, but, like, I would think Daima, adult, like, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he should get a Dokkan event before this guy, right? But, like, that's why, like, if we exclude the newest stuff, Daima, this guy, to me, is the number one character that needs to get a Dokkan Fest. He does a lot of fighting. They did, use a lot of his stuff in this LR. Not everything, but they did use a bunch of his stuff in this LR. But they could easily do another one. I think Demon King Piccolo is he's a great villain. Easily one of the best in the series. He's awesome. And I just would like to see him get his respect for a Dokkan Fest. He does already have a couple of LRs, even though they're free-to-play LRs. This one, at the very least, though, again, I mean, this guy does have good animations. I think a lot of this guy's stuff is actually really quite good. I think he looks really good. Well, bam. And that's when he kills Shenron right there. Okay. All right, so, yeah, Demon King Piccolo is one. Khalifa we talked about. Next, we have Garlic Jr. There are a couple of movie bosses characters on here, like Dr. Wheelo and Bio Broly, who I think also could probably get Dokkan Fest. Cellmax, too, but we're going to talk about Cellmax in a sec. Garlic Jr. from the movie has no characters in game from the movie. None. This is from the filler arc, right, where he fights Kid Gohan. Funny enough, I think we should see Kid Gohan's EZA details about 24 hours or so. And there's a chance this guy's there. It would be good if they sub-EZA'd him now. Although, I don't know, I guess, like, he would kind of EZA, and where would we use him? I guess they could add demonic power support to it. Maybe it'd be better if they hang on to this guy to where he has a better, like, setup. Because, like, probably. Terrifying Conquerors is kind of like bubbling, but, like, it doesn't have their leader yet. Resurrected Warriors does not have the leader. Yeah, maybe it'd be best to wait on this guy. But I would love to see Garlic Jr. get a Dokkan Fest. I think the first DBZ movie, Dead Zone, is maybe probably one of the best movies, I think, actually. I think it's really good. It's also really good because I think it's short. It's only like 39 minutes or something like that. Like, how many minutes is Dead Zone? I'm just going to look at that. I think it's 39 minutes or something. Dead Zone DBZ movie runtime. Boom. Let's see. 45 minutes, it says. Yeah, because I have a vision in my mind's eye of, like, when the credits starts, the camera zooms down under the ocean, and there's, like, little fragments of the Dead Zone, kind of, like, at the bottom of the ocean, and Garlic Jr. is, like, banging on one of the fragments, and I remember looking at that part, and then looking down at my DVD player, and it was, like, 39 minutes, like, into it. So yeah, it's very, very short, right? 45 minutes. But I think this guy, all of the movie boss characters probably should get Dokkan events. I mean, once we start going to OG Dragon Ball for, like, these guys, though, I don't know. Tao is essentially one of the villains in one of the Dragon Ball movies. And then I guess Staff Officer Black is the fourth Dragon Ball movie, Path to Power. He's kind of like the movie boss. They could probably get him a Dokkan Fest. Probably. It's tough for some of the Red Ribbon. Like, here's Colonel Silver. Like, it's tough to get, like, because they're just, like, soldiers, right? There's, like, General White, Staff Officer Black, like, Colonel Silver. Like, they're literally just soldiers. General Blue is an actual, like, warrior type, where like, you know, he's got the special ability and he's actually able to swap hands with Goku. Like, you know, this dude gets into combat with Goku and Goku fucking one-shots him. Like, that's what happens when Goku gets up next to these, you know, Red Ribbon commanders. Because, again, I'm assuming everyone listening to this, like 5 of y'all have actually watched OG Dragon Ball, right? And that's, like, I'm being dead ass. Like, I'm not even, like, being coy or dropping any, like, you know, silly jokes or anything. Krillin is going to get it. It's going to happen. Now, I did pose this question recently in a video. Which variant of Krillin is going to get it? I don't think Boo Saga Krillin will get it. This is from the Bio Broly movie, but I don't think Krillin with the hair is going to get it. They maybe could have... This Krillin, they maybe could have dropped this at Dokkan Fest. This is from Dragon Ball Super Return of Power, if they really wanted to. I think if they're going to do a Dokkan Fest Krillin, it's probably going to be from Saiyan Saga, this guy, Namek Saga, this guy, or Android Cell Saga, this guy. By the way, this guy, I still don't have this guy rainbowed, by the way. One day I'm going to... At this point, I probably shouldn't even buy him until he EZAs. They'll probably make it much easier to get him once he EZAs, right? But, like, I've never rainbowed this guy. Because, they release these LRs, they cost so much. If I had to guess, because Saiyan Saga does have the LR, I know Namek Saga does technically have his only premium unit, the Krillin and Kid Gohan, but I would probably say, kind of like really like a version of this, maybe where Krillin is in this and then he goes into the Saiyan armor, except it's a solo Krillin as a Dokkan Fest. I think is probably what we could see, right? I think Dokkan Fest Krillin is something that needs to happen. I do think Krillin needs a Dokkan Fest. So hopefully we would see that happen sooner rather than later. I think Krillin would make a great... Remember, Yamcha, the upcoming Dokkan Fest time slot, so in what, like 26 days or whatever, probably something like that, 27 days, 25 days, somewhere around that line. That was Yamcha's Dokkan Fest slot 3 years ago, going into December. I remember texting Nano, like, brother, it's going to be a cold December. We got Yamcha. Whew, but then we ended up, having Beast and Orange Pickle at the end, which is crazy. But yeah, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I would, if I had to guess, we spoiled the next one. I would go Namek Saga Krillin would be my guess for when Krillin gets a Dokkan Fest, which version of him it's from. This is Krillin from the 23rd World Tournament. Like, this is him from the second Broly movie. Here's him from the Metal Cooler movie with Kid Gohan. Like, there's many Krillin units, but, he does need his Dokkan Fest for sure. And then obviously here's Piccolo and Krillin from the Garlic Jr. filler, right? Tien needs a Dokkan Fest as well. I think Tien, it's very reasonable for Tien to get one. And we could pose the same question. From what arc do we think Tien's going to get a Dokkan Fest? I guess at this point it's very obvious, though. Krillin is probably a discussion we could have. For Tien, it's definitely going to be Cell Saga, huh? Like, without question, this is going to be his Dokkan Fest. I actually thought this should have been Tien's Dokkan Fest, but they made it a summonable LR. Although, they didn't use his forearms, and him and Kid Goku, their fight is 3 or 4 episodes long, I believe. So it's it's a long fight. So like there's definitely I'd actually have to go back and rewatch it, but I believe there'd be quite a bit from Tien that they did not actually use. So he could still be a Dokkan Fest. I felt like all of the World Tournament winners from OG Dragon Ball, Jackie Chun, Tien, and then Goku, all should have gotten Dokkan Fest. But Jackie Chun got a World Tournament LR. This guy got a Yellow Coin LR, and then Goku, of course, did get a Dokkan Fest. But yeah, probably Cell Saga Tien is who will get it. I don't know why Oob is here. I couldn't tell you. I typed in Tien in the Earthling because I typed in Tien and it was like Trunks characters were popping up too. So I was like, I'll go to Earthling and type it in. Actually, wait, Oob. Is Oob on there? Yeah, he is. Oh my god, I don't have Majub pulled up. We're gonna have to... Let's just talk about Majub right now. I didn't even think about... Yeah, dude, Yeah, Oob. Oob is another character, dude, who really... I would love to see the Majub Dokkan Fest, man. That would be a great one. Oob is just, the most disrespected character in Dragon Ball. right? Like, he's like set up to be Goku's successor, and then GT happens, and like he does nothing, like every character in GT, really. It's just the Goku show. And then, you know, Dragon Ball Super comes around. It's like, well, we're not actually going to continue after the Buu saga. We are, but it's not going to be after the actual end of the Buu saga. We're going to go back in time. So Oob has just been on the sideline. Now, Oob, you know, is in the Dragon Ball Super manga a little bit, but he's still not at the point where he's like a big time fighter and shit. But, yeah. So, I'd love to see Oob get a Dokkan Fest. That'd be fire. Rildo I have pulled up. Now, this is, again, remember, this is a very, very, very low hype Dokkan Fest. But Rildo does have several different forms, right? There is even the base form Rildo that we have right here. This is just the SR. I mean, they could certainly have, like, a Rildo that would do multiple transformations. Rildo is a character with a good link set. He's not really on a ton of teams, though, but he does have a good link set. So I think he could be a fun Dokkan Fest we could get at some point. I don't know if I could really talk about Rildo too much, but yeah, that's that. Tapion kind of feels like a character that could get a Dokkan Fest, and I think some people will be excited about Tapion getting some respect. He does have a premium unit with the LR Tapion and Minosha. You know, but they could do like a Dokkan Fest Tapion and then EZA Tapion and Minosha at the same time, right? You know, kind of have him kind of like revive the movie hero team a bit. I that could work, right? Tapion could definitely sustain a Dokkan Fest. Next, we have Deborah. I do think Deborah could get one. Deborah has, like, he doesn't fight that much, but he does a lot in his limited time on screen, right? Creating all the weapons and the spit and all the magic shit he has. Like, Deborah, you know, like, if Toriyama, like, gassed Deborah up a little bit, made him a little bit stronger, Deborah could have been, like, a sick actual villain, but Toriyama basically just used him, like the way Toriyama used Frieza in the Android/Cell saga to show how strong Trunks is, Toriyama set Deborah up to show how strong Buu is kind of the thing, right? Supreme Kai shitting his pants. Oh my god, he's the king of the demon realm. You know, Supreme Kai it's freaking out. And it's just a setup so when Buu one-shots him, you go, oh fuck. So Majin Buu is actually a real thing, right? So, like, that's kind of the thing. But Deborah does do a lot of sick shit, right? The spear, the sword, the flame breath, the spit. Like, he does so much shit in so much little time. He'd be fire. I did pose this idea a year ago when Daima was starting. And since then, he's gotten Successor, Demonic Power, and Mission Execution. Back when I posed this guy could be a Dokkan Fest a year ago, he only had Buu Saga, Quarter Body and Mind, Sibling Bond, and Terrifying Conquerors. He's gotten 3 new categories since then, so he could easily sustain a Dokkan Fest. I'd love to see Deborah get one. We have Mr. Satan here, Hercule. I mean, obviously he can get one. They don't really have a Hercule from the BoJack movie. Maybe that could be the Dokkan Fest, where, I mean, his super attack could be him riding in that little, like, ship or whatever, and he crashes into the enemy or something. I could see that. There's Mr. Satan getting a Dokkan Fest. This is the thing that's, like, I feel like this would have, like, a 100% approval rate, right? Like, am I crazy? Who is mad that Mr. Satan gets a Dokkan Fest? I think everyone's down with it. Like, only, like lames would be upset when this guy gets a Dokkan Fest, right? Like, yeah, it'd be silly fun. I could see a world where this guy is, like, you know, AGL Turles in March of 2018, April of 2018, reincarnated, like, support God or something like that. This guy I feel like would have a chance to be ridiculously fun. Great Saiyaman. I do think they could drop a Dokkan Fest for this guy right here. Just Great Saiyaman Dokkan Fest. That's another one that I think a lot of people would think is, like, great, silly fun. I could hear, like, a Great Saiyaman intro. I think it's something that they could do. I have Bulma pulled up. I've pointed this out many times. I'd love to see all of the Bulmas, pretty much, are all Kid Bulma from OG Dragon Ball. Except for this Bulma right here, who is from Namek. I think they can make a Dokkan Fest of this Bulma, where she's piloting her robots in that one filler episode, and I think it'll work well. If they're going to get a Peppy Gals Dokkan Fest, like, this could be a good one. You know, obviously Android 18 as well. I guess, do we have Android 18? Wait, what? Android 18 isn't here either. What the fuck? Whoa, whoa, Nappa Boldy. I guess, I mean, Kale and Khalifa technically are like the duo Dokkan Fest that go into Kefla, and then 18 is part of the Dokkan Fest with, Future 17. But no, bro. Android 18 needs her solo Dokkan Fest. Yeah, Android 18 will get one. I would propose, she's one of these characters where there's 50 arcs we could choose from. I think classic Android 18 that beats the fuck out of Vegeta and has him crying like a bitch. That's the one that should be a Dokkan Fest. I think Android 18 Dokkan Fest from the Android Cell Saga would be really good. We have Raccoon. I do think Raccoon could kind of slide in as a Dokkan Fest. Raccoon has that really well animated fight with Vegeta. If you go look, that is actually one of the hidden gem best looking episodes of Dragon Ball Z is Vegeta vs. Raccoon. Like when Vegeta is beating Raccoon down, that is I'm so serious, that's like one of the 10 best looking DBZ episodes. And because of that, they could make Raccoon's animations look really good. And I Raccoon is more of a solo fighter than Goldo is nothing. Jason and Birder fight together and don't really accomplish much. Raccoon is actually intimidating for quite a bit. And then obviously Cellmax. Cellmax will get a Dokkan Fest at some point, right? I mean, it would probably just be a low hype one or something, but he should get one. And then, of course, remember, there are still other options in here. Things like Grandpa Gohan, Nail, maybe Zarbon, right? Some of these characters in here. There are some, I don't see the Tambourine Dokkan Fest happening. At Dispo, probably not. Mighty Mask, no way, right? I don't know. Avocado, it's hard to say with some of them. But let me know, which characters would you guys like to see as Dokkan Fest?